Okay, I'm going to share my presentation. Okay, hello everyone. Thank you so much for being here, for joining this Qualcomm and WatchGuard webinar covering the changing face of endpoint security in a 5G world. My name is Alicia Riera. I'm going to be your moderator today, and I'll be joined for two presenters, Gianluca Busco from WatchGuard, who is Global Endpoint Sales Acceleration in our company, and Rami Husseini, who is the Director of Product Management in Qualcomm Technologies. A few things to keep in mind during the webinar related to the audio. You can use the computer or dial in. You have a Q&A box, and all the questions will be answered at the end. And we are recording this webinar, so you will have it on demand. We will share it with you through emails, and also we will publish it in our website. Meet the presenters. As I said before, you will be with Gianluca today and with Rami. Now it's Rami's turn. So Rami, wherever you are ready, you can feel free to start.
Perfect. Thank you, Alicia. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
I will be sharing my screen here. Perfect. Can you see my screen, Alicia?
Yes, we can.
Perfect. Hello, everyone. Thank you all for joining the webinar today. My name is Rami Husseini. I work at Qualcomm as part of the product management team for Windows on Snapdragon. I lead the commercial strategy. I'm excited to be joined by Gianluca and the WatchGuard team to talk about how 5G Windows PCs provide unique services for the modern workforce. It's quite a unique time in the corporate world. After spending the last 18 months working from home and on Zoom meetings, the doors are reopening for employees to start returning to work. But the return to work structure is really transforming to a work from anywhere. Employees will be able to catch emails from home when they wake up, stroll into the office for a few hours, do some work, collaborate with employees, and then move on, whether it be going to a client site, a client location, or to a coffee shop to work. This flexibility is really fantastic for employees. It allows them to maximize productivity as opposed to sitting in traffic or being forced to work from the office. And this maximum flexibility is really great for the employees. And what we're going to cover in this section is how we're going to provide the technology that allows these employees to be able to work in this work from anywhere landscape. That flexibility that employees get to enjoy does create significant challenges for the IT, specifically in device management and security. Imagine a scenario where an employee goes into a coffee shop to work and they join a public Wi-Fi. And while on a public Wi-Fi, their device gets spoofed, so data packets are stolen. That includes maybe company confidential information, or worse, maybe some malicious code gets added onto their machine. And unknowingly, that employee returns back into the office, and that malicious code can now go and essentially infect the enterprise network. Obviously, that's very bad. And as employees start to work in a more hybrid model, that risk increases. If you think about how security works, really at its core foundation, it's risk management. Before, where the working model was majority of employees working from the office, these types of scenarios, these types of risks were very low. With this new modern workforce, with people working from anywhere and being able to be more hybrid, and a larger percentage of your employee base following that model, all of a sudden that risk increases, making it very difficult to provide services to manage and secure devices. I'm really excited to talk about how the convergence of 5G, AI, and zero trust will provide a unique solution to be able to provide services and technologies that will protect employee devices while they're in this more modern work from anywhere landscape. So a Windows device for this modern workforce really needs to be unique. Traditional devices really fit the more traditional work environment, working from an office 9 to 5. But if you think about the device that this modern workforce needs, they need things like all-day battery life, always connectivity, right? Not just Wi-Fi, but cellular connectivity, and the ability for a device to be instant on so that the boot time is real quick and they can access their device quickly. If you think about those core features, they really mirror what you love about your mobile phone. Think about a mobile phone when you use it. That device has all-day battery life. It has, it's always connected, whether it be through Wi-Fi or 5G, and it's always accessible. As soon as you want to use it, you you use your fingerprint and you have access to the phone. So what we've done is we've brought those mobile features, that mobile technology into the Windows space. So now you can have Windows PCs with the larger form factor and the full keyboard to multitask on a device that gives you all-day battery life. It gives you persistent connectivity, so you don't have to search for Wi-Fi passwords or connect to public Wi-Fi hotspots. And that way, you can essentially work from anywhere. Similarly, the Snapdragon architecture was designed for IT to manage and secure devices. So just like employees get the benefit of the all-day battery life and the connectivity, IT and service providers being able to manage and secure devices, there are inherent capabilities within the Snapdragon architecture that we bring into the Windows PC space that allow us to manage this more flexible work from anywhere lifestyle. Some of those areas that we'll cover through this slide deck include AI and how you leverage AI to do behavioral detection on the device, zero trust, how you can manage identity, how you can use GPS location and root of trust that are designed naturally as part of the Snapdragon architecture, bringing that from the mobile space into the Windows PC space. That technology has actually been in Windows PCs for multiple generations. If you think about how people use their phones, you naturally, let's say you have to send a quick email. Most people, instead of using the Windows PC and waiting for the device to boot up and actually syncing your Outlook and using it, you'll naturally use your phone for that quick email. We've actually brought that technology into PCs, and having done research with enterprises, SMBs, service providers, the productivity that comes with Snapdragon Windows PCs is pivotal. It's really something that employees through our case studies, testimonials, have shared fantastic feedback. And we look to bring those similar technologies to support the IT landscape, whether it be with 5G platform, multi-day battery life, and other features that come through here. One of the unique things about our 8CX architecture is it was built for compute, especially for the commercial space, bringing unique security features and device management features that we'll show here on future slides. So as an architecture that is built for commercial, one of the things we wanted to keep in mind is developing a platform that has multiple layers of security. From the hardware layer, you have secure boot, you have TPM, you have different crypto engines. And as you work up the stack, you'll see things like a trusted execution environment, which is essentially a part where trusted code can run outside of the OS, up to hypervisor in the Windows security layer with all the guards, the device guards and the credential guards, and then working with ecosystem partners to bring solutions to the platform. And this multi-layer security really establishes what we view as being able to secure a platform from chip to cloud. And as you'll see, the capabilities we bring to the market provides opportunities for service providers to create new services and really provide unique models that really benefit the end users and the customers. So starting with kind of the baseline is all Snapdragon PCs are part of the Secure Core PC framework. This is essentially a Microsoft certification that establishes a device as being the most secure out of the box, right? It includes all of the check marks that Microsoft requires for the device to be the most secure out of the box. Obviously, from then at that point, how do you continue protecting it? That's where WatchGuard and Qualcomm have really collaborated to bring unique features on top of what Microsoft classifies as a secure core PC. So this leap ahead that we take with WatchGuard is essentially leveraging the migration of security platforms to the cloud. I really like this slide because it shows how things are migrating, and we're kind of, as most people know, kind of towards the part of the migration of moving to the cloud. So think of it as you have this natural migration of the infrastructure moving to the cloud, but you really need that modern PC with 5G connectivity to unlock the full potential of these cloud infrastructure solutions. I think the easiest one to look at is productivity, and then from there we'll naturally migrate to some of the IT features. But I remember in the past where I had to VPN into my corporate network to get emails, and just the extra time that it took to VPN while I was working remotely to get emails. Now with Office in the cloud and a 5G connected PC, I'm always synced. My device is similar to my phone where my email is always synced because I have an always connected 5G PC connected to the Office 365 cloud. And now my device always has the latest emails, and when I'm ready to work, I can jump on and quickly respond to emails. Similarly, for MDM, you can think of it from a patching perspective. Now devices don't have to VPN in to the corporate network to get patches. Obviously, with modern deployment mechanisms such as Intune, where the patching is done in the cloud, it's better paired with 5G Snapdragon PCs because now you have a 5G pipe that makes sure that your entire corporate fleet is patched at all times. So from a service provider perspective, it makes it that much easier to patch devices and make sure they have all security patches, because all of the devices that you're managing will always be connected and you'll always have that visibility. And then really the part that is new that we're introducing as part of this presentation is that same modern device management, but to modern security. So imagine how security is moving to the cloud. WatchGuard has done an incredible job of developing a solution in the cloud that allows for telemetry and cloud intelligence. Well, when you pair that with a 5G PC, it becomes that much more powerful. You get the telemetry on all your endpoints. You can do threat hunting on all your endpoints in real time. And you can do live discovery and threat remediation, again, across your corporate endpoints. So as we kind of look at how the cloud plus 5G compute pair together, it really streamlines how IT services can be provided for the modern workforce. So we've spent a bit of time talking about the connectivity piece. One additional area is that you also get to support devices when they're in a sleep state. So imagine an employee is leaving the office and going to a customer site. Typically the device is put to sleep. You throw it in your backpack and you drive off to the customer site. On a Snapdragon PC, even those devices in the backpack that are in that sleep state can be managed. They can be patched. They can be threat detected. They can have security patches pushed to them, which again gives you that full comprehensive view across your entire corporate endpoints. The other area is zero trust. our devices, our architecture, because we come from a mobile architecture and we've been designed with a mobile DNA, zero trust is really inherent in the way our device is built. So location awareness through an actual GPS sensor. There's no need anymore to try to triangulate location based off of Wi-Fi access points. Now there's a GPS sensor on the device that can provide, precise location. There's also a network risk analysis. So there's sensors on the device that can tell you if the access point you're connected to is risky. So if an employee is at a coffee shop and they connect to a rogue, malicious, Raspberry Pi device or some other Wi-Fi spoofing device, there will be a high risk score. So maybe the device doesn't access that access point. And then, of course, cloud intelligence to provide that chip-to-cloud capability. We've been partnering with WatchGuard on that to really drive the telemetry on these 5G PCs with that persistent pipe. And then an AI processor on the device that can prevent zero-day attacks and catch polymorphic attacks, because we have an AI engine on the device, as you'll see in a couple slides, that can accelerate threat detection. So diving a bit deeper into the always connected and secure model, imagine you have a Snapdragon PC, Windows PC, and it's paired with the WatchGuard Endpoint security platform that is connected to the cloud. And as a service provider, you now have full visibility on endpoints, regardless of whether the employee's at a coffee shop. So you can push patches to them instantly, whether you want to grab telemetry from them for the cloud to do AI and deep analysis, or whether you want to remotely run PowerShell scripts on the device to get that EDR threat hunting capabilities on the device. So there's with WatchGuard and Snapdragon, there are unique capabilities to support this work from anywhere lifestyle. Additionally, zero trust framework, as we kind of had mentioned, there's the ability for location sensors. So think of ways that you could do geofencing, or maybe you can locate a lost or stolen device. All of these added services that can be included for customers based on some of the technologies inherent on the platform. Biometric identity, ironically, on mobile phones, we've been using fingerprint sensors for years, but that hasn't really translated very well into the PC space. So we've brought our unique identity and biometric scanning into the Windows space, and our Snapdragon Windows PCs provide biometrics in a secure fashion that really makes it simple to log in and make sure that the identity of the user is in fact who the user says they are. And then lastly is, as we were mentioning, the network monitoring, making sure that employees on public Wi-Fis are not being hit by man-in-the-middle attacks. So these added services that can be bundled with this device, just because of the inherent platform capabilities, really presents a unique opportunity for us to all jointly secure the modern workforce. AI. So AI is very unique. The legacy ways of doing security was kind of more of a database lookup. There was essentially a database of virus signatures that a device would look up and be able to scan files and see if a file is malicious. Obviously, that database can become stale. You miss out on zero-day threats. If there's a polymorphic attack where a threat is slightly tweaked, your signature won't match, and it will be be able to do malicious things. That's where AI comes in, and it more looks at behaviors rather than a database. What we offer on our Snapdragon system on chip is a dedicated AI processor that can run AI logic up to, I think, 10 times faster than a CPU or GPU. And the beauty about it is you can offload this processing from the CPU, so the employee can work while the detection is happening on a separate AI DSP. so you don't really impact productivity. And all of this can happen pre-execution or on execution, whether it be you're doing process inspector, whether you're doing sandbox analyzer, or the different stages of detection on the platform. So if you think about it, you're really bringing in all these unique ways of protecting the modern workforce. And the devices that are out in the market span Lenovo, HP, Microsoft, Samsung, and many other manufacturers that we've brought to market. And we're excited to be partnering with WatchGuard to bring these unique solutions from a security standpoint to market. So I want to thank you all for the time today, and I'm excited to hand over the presentation to Gianluca, who has an incredible amount of knowledge in the endpoint security space to share his presentation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. And thank you very much, Rami, for handing over the presentation, and welcome again, everyone. I'm Gianluca Busco Arre. I'm the Vice President Global Endpoint Sales here in WatchGuard, and I will be your host for the second part of this webinar. And I will try to lead you through the daily challenges we face, the need to link the 5G, the endpoint security, and the zero trust model that was just described by Rami as well, our protection model, and some use cases that we can have with this combination of technologies. And then at the end, I will try to recap what makes us so different in the security space, cybersecurity space, and what's the great advantage that we have now with this partnership with Qualcomm. So I think everyone is very aware that everyday organizations are just facing a lot of challenges protecting their mission critical assets from malicious code, ransomware, and hackers, and then also facing challenges considering how to improve their device security posture in a sort of I would say never-ending technology shift. And I think that the 5G is a great example. Endpoint security alone is not enough. And I think everyone is aware that recent breaches prove that every organizations need every organization could be compromised in some way by hackers, by targeted attack, by targeted ransomwares, and whatever you are, a small organization, a small business company, or multi-billion-dollar organization, you could be a target for this kind of threats. In addition, dealing with goodware application weaponized to exploit systems, a wanted application running in an environment, or just misused application without control or even monitoring will drastically increase the security gap in any company. At the same time, the real-time visibility leads to a more understanding of what is currently in use, the cloud resources in use by employees, or a remote workforce accessing unsecured connection, or even if changes in the security posture will lead to not complying with corporate policies or regulations. And then, this new generation of network technology will change IT, and on our perspective, will change IT forever, and change how clients and partners will address device security. Some probably challenges that we're going to face, and how to perform threat hunting. Rami was just mentioning before, on an always connected device, how to remediate a device that isn't connected to a corporate network, for sure will increase the complexity to keep this security posture in line with corporate guidelines and corporate policies. At the same time, managing this new set of devices, always connected, how to remediate a possible threat in a sleep state, how to secure the data integrity, again, I said, when not connected to a corporate network, and how to protect the mission critical asset when endpoints will have a persistent 5G connection to cloud resources. And for sure, we introduce additional level of complexity and complexity that in some way should be managed. Not having, on our perspective, not having the right tools or the right technology developed to make this simple, secure, and as I said, easy to manage will increase the risk exposure to being compromised or to be breached. Unauthorized access to software or execution of untrusted application provides a malicious hackers the opportunity to compromise the integrity of any endpoint, install malware on systems, or even exploiting vulnerabilities could be a problem that in some ways should be managed, or a ways that we should face in our IT management or every day when we manage IT systems. And these vulnerabilities could be exploited, increasing, but not limited to, increasing privilege access, or even, compromising drastically the compliance of these devices connected to the network. So far, the prevalent model in the cybersecurity space was, trust everything unless known as malicious, and this prevailing paradigm isn't working anymore. It's not working anymore. And untrusted binaries, untrusted files, untrusted processes, software running could just jeopardize the device security and compromise the system integrity. WatchGuard redefined this concept, and redefining the concept of endpoint security means also increasing the resilience, and increasing the resilience needs to include or needs to consider at least three main components. First, increase your security private network configuration, increase your real-time endpoint visibility with telemetry. Again, Rami mentioned that in the first part of the webinar. And with this telemetry data collected from these devices, performing threat hunting, and not just maybe rely on more traditional technologies or more traditional detection technologies. The second is for sure deployment of a 5G connected PC with advanced security framework in place, and the zero trust model as well as a part of this deployment. Real-time endpoint monitoring, real-time assessment, real-time remediation, again, as a part of this next generation of security strategies should be always considered as a part of our deployment strategy and security strategy. Also, we think that the recent security breaches to U.S. Critical infrastructures, but we have many cases in EMEA as well, in Europe, or across the world. The SolarWinds attack, or even the recent breach that we had here in the U.S. with the Colonial Pipeline. I think I highlighted the need to have a different approach, a different security model implemented, and this different security model should also be considered as a sort of baseline for any systems or any PC, any device implemented or connected to a network. U.S. President Joe Biden last May, he signed an executive order to companies and to contractors with federal government requiring to implement the zero trust as a baseline, as a fundamental cybersecurity requirement. I think that's a great step moving forward in that direction, because also requires improving access to cybersecurity data and drive analytics just also to identify the possible threats, or even to increase visibility across security risks. First time proposed, the zero trust model was proposed by Forrester in I think it was 10 years ago, in 2010. And the zero trust no one model defined a sort of new framework to secure not just endpoints, but to secure network, data, people, workload, and also increasing visibility across the board. So it was recently extended to extra layers of controls, but they still consider one of the most secure framework to protect infrastructure, to protect endpoints, and all devices connected in a network. Security and management challenges. On the other hand, yeah, we saw the challenges that we are facing every single day to manage devices or threats, you know, in our environment. But on the other hand, partners and clients are still dealing every single day with operations. MSP, MSSPs are providing a set of services to their clients, 24/7 log correlation, threat mitigation, and those services are basically, you know, to evaluate the possible risk for information collected, okay, by each technology deployed. Endpoint security, system or device management as well, and threat remediation as a part of standard process when MSP or MSSPs are delivering services. And again, most of them are probably more reactive, on demand, than just proactive and real time. And that's not just their fault, it's just how the technology deployed works. Okay? We collect information, we try to correlate this information, and we try to manage all the incident collected by this information, by these technologies. Companies are looking to manage and secure cloud access for sure. More flexibility needed to allow employees to work, you know, from home, on the go, or even to increase, you know, to try to find ways to increase collaboration between employees, between the workforce. At the same time, they're also trying to contain the costs, reducing as much as possible infrastructure or on-premise technologies. So if we think about this new set of devices that will be always connected, and always connected PCs, PC will introduce for sure new challenges for both parties, you know, from clients, companies, and MSSPs or partners in general. Because they have a new set of devices now to manage, and they have a new set of devices to secure when they are connected to public or private 5G networks. So they need to intervene, they need to investigate, they need to monitor and remediate out of compliance posture in any state, including when the devices, Rami was just saying before, are probably in your backpack and in the backpack and not even connected or not even in use by an employee. Okay, and because they need to intervene, because they need to investigate, because they need to monitor these devices, they need probably also to deploy a solution that is able to provide this level of security when these devices are always connected, but maybe in a sleep state. At WatchGuard, we always try to deliver, you know, cutting-edge technologies, and I think we did it very, very well so far. And you know, our technologies also requires to stop advanced cyber attacks, advanced threats, always looking at the same time how the market evolves, how the market is shifting, and how partners and clients are now implementing disruptive technology, are now implementing new technologies. And again, 5G is a great example. That's the reason WatchGuard, due to the acquisition of Panda Security last year, is very proud of this collaboration with Qualcomm, because they are pioneers in engineering. They are an absolute innovator in many fields, including 5G. And as a result of this collaboration, WatchGuard now protects this new generation of PC powered by Snapdragon chipset. And we are doing that. We are protecting this new set of devices with our most innovative EDR technology, with a built-in zero trust model, a real-time data analytics platform, and also we deliver this new way to secure and monitor endpoints in any device state. Collecting telemetry from every endpoint protected, we provide a superior level of visibility to our partners and customers, and this was always our mission. We try also to push the concept of providing advanced technology to our partners and customers with additional services like threat hunting and forensic investigation, forensic intelligence, information collected by every single endpoint protected. And in this case, not just for every single the device connected, but also always connected to a 5G network. The trust everyone, run everything, on our mind was a model to improve. And I think that's a great representation. A traditional security model is not effective anymore, or it was not effective so far. And we have a lot of cases, a lot of breaches that prove that. And unfortunately, the trust everyone, run everything, I will deep dive that in a second, is still the main protection model used by most security vendors. The pre-execution phase is still relies on vendor knowledge, and it's based on what they know as malicious. You know what you know. There are different ways to stop threats for sure in the pre-execution phase, but most of the technology still rely on signature, URL reputation, heuristic, or deny list rule set. Okay, and they are mainly based on stopping what they know. Okay? They see coming before executing, they stop it, and they are just blocking these processes or this malicious code. I think things are probably becoming more interesting in the execution phase, and then again, most of the time in the execution phase, technologies or vendors, they are trying to stop what is behave suspiciously. So again, it's something that was not stopped in the pre-execution because completely unknown, now is behave in a very bad way. So again, technologies and many vendors rely on technologies like live sandboxing execution or machine learning, again, try to detect what is going on the system, okay, try to stop malicious code in this phase. And again, if you think about the sandboxing or live sandboxing, they try to validate the suspicious behavior, the suspicious object. But again, it has been proved many times that advanced threats can easily evade these controls. And if you think about the pre-execution, I stop what I know, and then I have the execution. I need to monitor if something behaves suspiciously. Then we have the post-execution when something happened, okay, or something already executed. And again, when machine learning or other technology may not decide fast enough to stop this malicious behavior, many vendors, they are providing you rollback features or even additional services, additional services that are needed to restore the system or the data integrity. Unfortunately, most of the time, not everything could be restored or unencrypted in case of a ransomware attack, for example. And that's the reason why most vendors are just providing additional services to their client. They're trying to complement their technology or they are to try to mitigate the lack of knowledge provided or lack of just technology limitations, okay, performing incident management with additional services or threat management, again, with additional services. And again, most of the time are not part of the initial product license, So, still customers are compromised by ransomware or by hackers, and then that's still a reality to face. The traditional model doesn't work properly. And if we think about the traditional model, I think they run everything, trust everyone, okay, covers three main scenarios. The first one is the malicious object. Again, I said before, you stop probably very well what you know, and traditional technology are still detecting because they know files or binaries or objects are malware or viruses or maybe even known ransomware. Someone else already discovered that, and you have a signature to stop this behavior. The known objects, as per their nature, are probably undetectable and in any state, okay, unless they start behave suspiciously. And then you have the suspicious object, again, all detection that requires a more deep understanding, a more deep investigation, a more deep knowledge to see or to determine if those are false positive or false negative. And At WatchGuard, we try to redefine the endpoint security model, introducing an additional level of security at the pre-execution stage, and we call in this service Zero Trust Application Service. And it provides an additional level of security, classifying everything that is unknown, every binary, every application running, every processes, every DLLs, and we had this Zero Trust Application Service as a part of our product, as a part of our technology. So the Zero Trust is very unique, I think, in the market, and as I said before, it just classifies everything as everything that is unknown. So reduce completely the gap that traditional technologies are still having in that phase, in the pre-execution phase. And then this service is classifying everything as a goodware or as a malware. So it's removing completely the uncertainty before the execution. And again, the result of this approach is that before executing a binary, before executing a process, or even a process calling a DLL, everything is classified by us in a matter of minutes and completely managed by WatchGuard. With this service, with this model, we try to address two main objectives. First, no object will be executed unless it is trusted. And second, partners and customers don't have to investigate anything. There is no any more suspicious file. As you can see from the left of this slide, there is no more suspicious file. So we still have unknown because maybe our automatic classification service is not able to automatically classify this binary. So we have people, we have a backend system, we have people working, threat analysts that are manually classify this object. We are referring to the 0.02% of what we actually see running in every customer environment. But this is not enough. The Zero Trust Application Service is not just classifying these objects. It also, after the execution, all programs, all the applications are continuously monitored real time to determine if something that was goodware at the pre-execution phase and classified as goodware is now behaved suspiciously, and now it's becoming a malicious object. So it's not just classifying the object at pre-execution, but also keep this object continuously monitored. So, and again, as a result of this implementation, this model, the Zero Trust Application Service, file-based attacks, ransomware, malware are not a concern anymore on our side, and we completely shift our focus on monitoring and stop, more advanced threats, hackers, lateral movement, or you can see here and a great example of threats or tactics actually. One of them called living off the land. So using or trying to weaponize application, goodware application that are running in your environment, already there, are maybe part of the operating system, exploiting this application to grant more privilege, to do lateral movement, or even to exploit unpatched application. Okay, so that's our focus now. We are focusing there, and when you see the threat hunting service, for us, it's part of our technology. So you don't have to pay an extra fee. It's not something that is just for you an additional cost. And again, I think Rami mentioned at the beginning or during is part of the webinar. The telemetry data is critical, is very relevant, because everyone wants to start looking more in deep, having more knowledge, having more visibility needed, not just to perform the threat hunting, but also to perform, forensic investigation. I've been compromised. I need to know exactly what happened. I need to come back in time. That's the reason why at WatchGuard we provide 12 months of telemetry, data collected for every endpoint that we protect. And then in a case of being compromised or case of breach, our cybersecurity team proactively notifies customers and partners, to address the problem. Our mission also is to prevent incidents before they happen. We love to say that with our technology, we try to reduce the number of incidents to zero, close to zero. And that's the reason why we combine this product, this technology with services, all combined together in a single product. And from the pre-execution stage, again, everything runs if secured, trusted, and classified. But at the same time, we also rely on more traditional technologies because those are fast, are efficient, and performant, even in the pre-execution stage. Okay, but we want to combine those two technologies, so the zero trust application service and the traditional protection layers in a single stage. You know, because we need to be sure that everything that we run will run as a good work. At the same time, in the execution phase, we want, you know, this application that has been sanctioned as a goodware will be always, all the time, continuously, 24/7, real-time monitored to see if they start behaving in a malicious way. Yeah, and this context-based real-time behavior analysis is, for us, is a key, not just to improve our technology in the pre-execution phase, but also for us is leading to the next stage, the post-execution, where we have a threat hunting service or an incident investigation service that supports you and your customer when something happens. And again, everything is combined in a single technology. Some use cases, very briefly, if, you know, combining the 5G, this brand new set of Snapdragon PC, or powered by Snapdragon PC, and then enabling the zero trust framework. Okay, it's a very unique combination, and provides to WatchGuard partners, customers, and everyone that is actually using these technologies, including employees. Okay, a more secure environment, a more secure environment. Whatever you are, a small business organization, a large enterprise organization, doesn't matter. And these use cases could be easily applied across the board. Our focus is now to enable partners and clients to manage these always connected devices very efficiently and to provide the security they need. But also with the 5G compute platform always connected, you know, sharing resources, cloud collaboration, real-time access. So we are going to transition from, you know, a more on-demand kind of resources. So when I need cloud, you know, I can sync my files to a real-time access. So because everything will be super fast, I don't need to download my information. I can get access immediately, real-time, to the cloud. So how I can secure that, how I can provide this security and address all my customer requirements. So leading innovation for sure. At the same time, we try to seek and try to find a way to support disruptive channel partners on the 5G segment, as I said before, from large to small, from reseller to MSSPs to system integrators, whatever the kind of partners we are dealing with, or we are managing, or we are supporting in every day. But at the same time, what we try to do is securing these devices, providing remediation tools, and also remediating a possible threat without any additional investment, without any additional fee. So the same product that you install in a traditional PC, you can also use it in this new set of devices. I think just to summarize, and if you think about why we are so different and what's the reason why we think WatchGuard is leading in this kind of technologies. First, a cloud not native single pane of glass platform that makes everything, you know, very, very easy, very simple to manage, and drastically reduce the effort on your side to perform, you know, the daily operation that we discussed at the very beginning with the first slide. And with the same product that you deployed, you can also have a single agent that secure not just from traditional threats, but also from more advanced threats, or protecting from hackers or ransomware, or whatever will be the threats on your system. This single agent also is a multifunctional one, so it's a single agent, but also provides multiple technology, multiple level of security. Whatever you're doing, you know, patching, whatever you're doing encryption, whatever you're doing, you know, data analytics, the agent is still the same. So you don't have to deliver additional components or software, and that's a great advantage when you have customers, or when you want to start with maybe the basic protection and then you want to upgrade. The zero trust service always included in the most advanced technology from WatchGuard. I'm talking about the EDR. We'll cover that in a second. But the zero trust service that sanctions what is goodware from malicious at the pre-execution stage that protects you from any unknown threats. Simple and effective. The simplicity is a great point on our side. Immediately secure any device as soon as deployed. So it's a sort of set and forget pre-configured product. You don't need to, browse policies and try to make the product work, because it works as soon as deployed. And then the flexibility needed and the modularity needed to address, I would say, multi-dimensional needs. So whatever you have an endpoint and whatever you want to deploy endpoint security, or you want to start deploying patches, or you want to manage more efficiently the encryption, or you want to have more visibility with the data collected with data analytics, and then the threat hunting or forensic investigation. Everything will be on a single pane of glass. Everything will be managed by the single code. And then just to summarize, and then to leave space for questions and answers, Q&A session. WatchGuard is very proud to support the Snapdragon PC platform with our entire protection offering, and the EDR product families as well. Panda Endpoint Protection and Panda Endpoint Protection Plus for organizations interested in protecting from more traditional threats, non-malware, viruses, and potential wanted application with technologies including malware signature and heuristic. Okay, so even the basic protection also supports this new set of devices. And then Panda Adaptive Defense that combines EDR, zero trust, that we discussed before, the threat hunting investigation in a single solution is just perfect if you're looking just to add an extra layer of security without rip and replace what you already have. And so it actually, you can keep your third-party endpoint solution if you don't want to replace that. Or, Panda Adaptive Defense 360, which combines everything in a single product. So endpoint protection, EDR, zero trust, application service, and the threat hunting, everything packaged together. And now we are very proud of that. Now the same technology is also available in WatchGuard Cloud. All WatchGuard partners can benefit immediately from the integrated platform from June 1st. And again, all of this technology are just a perfect fit for this new set of devices. With this, I think we can have some space for questions and answer. So let me check if we have something here. So I think the first question is for Qualcomm. Maybe Rami, you can address that. If your Snapdragon device is broadcasting when asleep, how are you going to prevent a device theft in Silicon Valley? This is extremely common with thieves driving through parking lots, and they're looking for locked up devices in the trunk. So how we can address that?
Good question. Just to share some insight on that. So think of these devices as having multiple sensors on it. So one sensor that could be applied for this use case where devices are getting stolen from trunks is the location sensor. On mobile phones, you have a hardware GPS sensor that obviously gives you precise location. We've brought that GPS sensor into Snapdragon Windows PCs. And so you'll have precise GPS location of a device that's stolen. Also expanding on that is the ability when a device is in connected standby, or actually in any state, to have a direct connected pipe to it. So you could then lock down the machine, you can geofence the machine, you can harden different components, you can turn off USB. So there's many different things you can do based on a risk level. Obviously, when in this scenario, if a device is stolen in a trunk and the GPS location is showing, is showing data that it's actually stolen and not lost, then you can definitely lock down the machine, remotely secure wipe it, make sure all your IPs are remotely removed, and essentially make the device unusable to the thief. So and then obviously then be able to locate it, go locate it and get it, similar to a mobile phone with kind of that locate device feature.
Yeah, thanks, Rami. And also maybe I can add on our side, is also best practice to have all these devices encrypted. And with our technology also we can manage that. So we can prove the device was encrypted. We can manage the this device and the encryption of this device as well. And then again, imagine you want to recover the key, everything is managed by a single platform again. So also the security part of that is also covered by the encryption as well. Okay. So let me see, I have another question here. Can you please explain or compare what is the difference between 4G or 5G in security terms? If you look at the consumer or business connectivity, ISP, service provider, use NAT to protect the traffic in some level, excluding private networks. So my question is, technically, is there is different in IP protocol, version 4, version 6, or content level? Why should 5G be more vulnerable than older 4G or 3G devices? This question is coming from Finland.
Perfect. Thanks for the question again. Yeah, think of Wi-Fi being unsecure or the ISP, IP protocols and ISP protocols. They were built ground up to be more of a sharing technology. Essentially, how do you pass packets around? And when IP was originally created in the Wi-Fi space, security really wasn't foundational to it. It wasn't part of the technology when it was invented. It was really just a packet routing. How do I route packets from a device to different routers, get it to the core network, and then out into the internet? 5G and 4G and cellular technology is unique in that there's a direct pipe from my device, and the next hop is a private entity, and that would be your telco provider. So the device I'm speaking from right now is a Snapdragon-based Surface Pro X, and that's connected to a Verizon tower. So that first hop from my machine is to a private entity with full encryption. So the cellular technology provides that inherent security because you're not going from a device to a public router. Obviously, as we go from Gs, from 3G to 4G to 5G, we increase the security, where 5G is actually the most secure cellular technology. So think of it as kind of multiple layers. Cellular connectivity being more secure than public Wi-Fi, and then 5G being the most secure of any generation. Primarily because what you're going to see in 5G is more device-to-device communication. So you're going to have PCs talking to IoT devices, to automotive devices, to different types of devices. And because there's going to be that machine-to-machine communication, we definitely increased the security level in 5G compared to 4G and others. So overall, I mean, just to kind of summarize the answer is actually 5G, of all the technologies, whether it be 4G or public Wi-Fi, is the most secure. Obviously, with WatchGuard and the way they built their solution to leverage our 5G technology with zero trust, will really take that to the next level. Gianluca, I don't know if you want to add to that.
No, I think that's great. Absolutely. And there is another question here for WatchGuard. Is WatchGuard threat hunting and remediation consistently running in the background for an always connected device? I think that's a very good question. The zero trust application service and the threat hunting investigation as part of the product. Okay, they take care of automatically classify everything that it's goodware. Okay, and automatically sanction if there is something that is malicious. At the same time, all the information collected, all the telemetry information collected for each single binary file are automatically sent at our backend. So we can perform this threat hunting investigation because of the data collected, whatever will be the state of this PC. But at the same time, these information are also available for partners and customers. So if they have a SOC, a security operations center, or if they are providing MDR services to their customers and clients, we can feed all of this information to their infrastructure, so to enable them to provide the services for their customer. So the answer is yes, and absolutely. We can also support partners if they want to improve the way to do threat hunting for their customers as well. There is another question here. Are more companies deploying 5G laptops, and for what teams? That's a good one.
Yeah, very good question there. So yeah, so 5G laptops, there's IDC studies and forecasts showing tremendous growth in 5G connected PCs. I think if you look at the landscape of where they're getting deployed, it's really across the board. You're seeing a lot in the enterprise space, Fortune 500s, along with mid-market SMBs, and even in the education space with remote learning. What used to kind of started off as kind of targeting the mobile employees has really expanded tremendously as more employees are becoming mobile in this new work from anywhere landscape. So you're essentially, your addressable market has really consumed most of the applicable market. So
good. I think we have time for covering another one because we are running out of time. That's probably for WatchGuard, if you classify everything, why, as a good word, why you still have unknown objects? And that's another good question. We try to classify everything automatically with our machine learning system. We are using a ranker system, so we do a score, automatic score. We are scoring all the binaries that are in this pre-execution stage. But sometimes the machine learning is not enough, so we need to have someone that actually, manually check if the application is goodware or not. And those applications are just, as I said before, 0.02% of what we actually automatically classify. So are a very, very small number of objects, but still, yes, we still have completely unknown object that we are not able to automatically classify, and that's the reason why this is a managed service. We have someone that is managed that on your behalf. It's completely part of the technology, does not require you an extra service, and it's completely embedded as a part of our zero trust mode. I think we are running out of time, so I will hand over back to Alicia. And I would say thank you very much for joining, and thank you very much, Rami and Qualcomm, for joining today with us. And we'll try to address any other questions, and I think that the slides will be available for everyone at the end of this session. Again, thank you very much.
Thank you all for joining this webinar. Just one more thing, please. At the end, when we close the session, a survey is going to pop up. So we would love to hear what you think about this webinar. So please share your thoughts with us. Have a great day, and thanks to you all.
thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much.